What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Sorry. Still a little mess up from last night, man. Not gonna lie to you, but got looks on basically every single one of these games, other than a couple of them. To be honest with you, unfortunately, these lines have moved a ton, man. Unfortunately, I don't even think I have anything official at these numbers, but about to talk about every game, talk about the situation as well, and let you know what I would bet in every single game, guys. I'm not here to waste your time. Obviously, coming off of a tough day, but headphones out. Obviously coming off a tough day, but still here, my guys. We still here. Hopefully hopefully y'all could hear the song and shit. But let's get straight to it, man. Let's go over here. Should be able to hear it now. Let me just make sure real quick. Audio. Let me see. All right, bet. Check. All right. Let's go over here to the streets of Boston in this one. Celtics land 5.5 points at the house versus the Phoenix Suns in this one. We know that there's a couple of main players out for the Celtics in this game. It's always tough to go against the Celtics. It is, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Suns were a barking dog in this game. It's really tough to bet against the Celtics at the house, but we know that this isn't the greatest spot for them. Coming back home off of a 5-game West Coast road trip, only 1 day of rest as well. Like when you go from Utah to Boston with only 1 day of rest, I mean, you ended the Utah game late, then you only got 1 day of rest to go over 3 time zones as well. Coming off a 5-game West Coast road trip, then you don't have Jaylen Brown or Porzingis in this one. Now, obviously, the Celtics are still the better team. They're even the better 3-point shooting team as well. But just we know that this is a spot that we never really take these teams in, guys. First game back at the house after a 4 or more game road trip, teams can usually come out sluggish in those spots. So we know that the Celtics are a super team. We know that it's hard to go against them as well, but I can only look towards. I'm not betting the Suns here, but that would be the only way that I could look in this game. Like I say, the Celtics are. I mean, they're one of the greatest teams in the NBA, but without full strength, obviously that's not when they're. When the Celtics aren't full strength, that's when, like, if there was a time to fade them, and also coming back home off this 5-game road trip as well. And it's a quick revenge spot as well for the Suns. They just lost 5 days ago. The Suns have started to get a little better. They're starting to play a lot better defense. Number 8 defense in the last 10 games. They have won 3 of their last 4. They just hadn't really been covering the spread. 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. The Celtics won 8 of the last 10. They've covered 8 of the last 10 as well. But like I say, when you're coming back home, this is still 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights as well for the Celtics with travel from Utah. They were in Cleveland, Denver, Phoenix, Portland, and Utah. 5-game road trip back at the house. It's not necessarily a bet on spot for me. And they go back out on the road game after this as well versus the Wizards. This is actually a horrible spot versus the Boston Celtics. Doesn't mean that the Suns are a lock. It's just saying that I don't want to lay the points with the Celtics. I wouldn't feel comfortable laying the points with the Celtics in this one, guys. Let's head over here to the streets of Houston in this one. Rockets land 7.5 points at the house versus the Washington Wizards in this one. This one's come down last night. This one was 8.5, and it's down to 7.5 now. Rockets have owned this series. They've won 7 of the last 10. They're 6-4 against the spread. They've won 7 of the last 10 versus the Wizards. They're 6-4 against the spread last 10 matchups as well. The Wizards aren't a real basketball team. They don't have a single center. Pretty sure Marvin Bagley's still out, and then Rashard Holmes is out as well. They got Kuzma running the center there. Then don't really have a center coming off the bench. So this is going to be a ton of small ball here. Now, it's crazy because the Rockets play really good defense at the house, and their unders have been going crazy. I believe their unders are like 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. So the Rockets game's been going under, but with the Wizards having to play a ton of small ball here, it's really easy for the Rockets to get, like, if Şengün was playing this game, he would absolutely feast versus Kuzma down low, but he's not. And he's one of the Rockets' best players and one of the most important parts to their offense as well, man. So Rockets have been playing well. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. They've covered 6 of their last 7 games, but I know that they're, like, without Şengün, they are going to take a dip, in my opinion here, man. So I'm not looking towards betting the Wizards. We know that this is a tanking team. They're not serious about winning games. They could lose lose every single game for the rest of the season, and that would make them, they would be happy with that as well. Obviously, the players, they're millionaires. They get big checks. They don't care if they're losing or not, and it's apparent as well. They're not even mad after losses. They're smiling in the locker room. So it's a tough game. As far as the spread and the total, I'm not going to lie to you. It's definitely one that I'm going to stay off of. It's a few too many points to lay with the Rockets, but that's the only way that I'm looking. I'm not looking towards taking the Wizards in this game, guys. So over to the streets of Chicago in this one. Bulls getting 6 points at the house versus the LA Clippers in this one. Clippers got to come in here pissed off. They got to. I know that this is just a regular season. As long as they get one of those top 4 seeds, they will be comfortable, but they're coming off a few bad losses here. And James Harden said it's not just this one. I mean, it's the game versus the he was even went back to the game versus the Bulls, like when they were down, and they can end up coming back in the fourth quarter covering that spread. There was a matinee type of game as well. Now, scheduling wise, it was a bad spot the next day versus the Bucks. They had a game that was like 18, 19 hours away. They had back-to-back matinees, and they lost an hour with the time change as well. So they got smacked up versus the Bucks. Then versus Minnesota, obviously, they had a 22-point lead in that game. Kawhi leaves in the first quarter. Anthony Edwards goes crazy on him, and they end up losing that game by 18. It's a crazy turn of events there. So I do think the Clippers come out here pissed off. Now, I've said this before, and it didn't happen. You see what I'm saying? But I do still think this is a Clipper spot. Mainly, it's a bad spot for the Bulls. Y'all know me. If y'all listen to the shows, you know when you're coming off a back-to-back from playing the Pacers, it's never the best of spots because you're having to run up and down the court a little bit more than usual. And then when the game goes into overtime, that's when you see the line starts to move. The Clippers were laying 4. As soon as the game went into overtime, then it's moving up to moves up to 5, then 5.5, 6. It even touched 6.5. Now back down to 6. Maybe some money's coming back on the Bulls here, but it's still back to back with overtime, with travel as well. Third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights as well. I mean, it's also their sixth game in 9 days for the Chicago Bulls. They had a back to, and a lot of these have been road games as well. 5 of their last 6 games have been on the road. So this is 6th game in 9 nights with travel as well. They went to Sacramento on March 4th. Then they went to Utah, had a back-to-back Utah and Golden State, which they won both of those games. And then they went to LA as well, not too far of travel. Then you come home from LA to Chicago, come home versus Dallas. They got smacked up. Then next a couple days, they had their pissed off game. That was last night versus the Pacers. This is like a major emotional letdown, in my opinion, for the Bulls. You had DeRozan go off for, I believe, like 44 points. He was tired as hell in the post-game interview. Now these guys are athletes. Of course they could muster some more energy, but also Kobe Whitehead got injured in that game as well. He didn't even play in overtime. They say he had a hip injury. That doesn't mean that he's out today, but they did say that he's going to get an MRI. You see what I'm saying? The beat writer said that he was in good spirits and was smiling and stuff in the locker room, but he still left that game with a hip injury. So if he is out in this game, we wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Vucevic played 43 minutes. DeRozan, like I said, he was dog fucking tired. When you go for 46 points and play 44 minutes in overtime versus the Pacers, you're not going to have much left in the tank. I mean, DeRozan's he's not a young guy. He's not an old guy, but I believe he got to be at least like 33, bro. He got to be at least like 33. I just want to see real quick. Let me see. I don't know. Y'all can look it up. If I can't, I just clicked on this name right here. It's not showing me, it's just showing me his stats and shit. But y'all can look it up. Let's see how old he is real quick. I think it's important. How old is DeRozan? Real quick, my guys. How old is? Come on, man. Not his daughter. I want to know how old Cuz' daughter is, Cuz. So he's 34 years old. He's about to turn 35. He turns 35 on August 7th. That's a good month right there as well. I turned 32 in August as well. But if they're missing Kobe White, that's really gonna be tough, in my opinion. He's one of the main parts to their offense outside of DeRozan as well, man. So back-to-back spot coming off. So you get a bounce back J spot for the Clippers. You get a spot where they've already beaten this team as well. They just beat them 112-102. Let's see how Kobe White did. Obviously, they did have Kawhi Leonard in that game. Probably not going to have him here tonight. James Harden is questionable as well. Kawhi Leonard did play 38 minutes and had 19 points in that last game. So of course they need him, but this is just a fatigue spot here versus the Bulls. I'd still lean towards it. I'd still like the Clippers here, even at the -6. Kobe White played 41 minutes and had 19 points as well. So maybe those like will kind of cancel out in that one. But I still think that this is a Clipper spot. Obviously, they've been bullshitting lately. You don't have to take it. Obviously, you've lost a couple of points of value, but I'd still like the Clippers here at -6. That'll be like the point that I would stop at this one. So luckily, it's come back down to 6. I still like Clippers -6 in this spot. Might get a better line in game, but I do expect the Bulls to run out of gas in the fourth quarter in this one. Let's go over to the streets of Milwaukee in this one. Bucks. First game back at the house after a road trip, but it was a bad road trip. They went 1-3 straight up and against the spread on the road trip. They just coming off a loss by 35 points versus the Kings. The only game on their road trip that they won was versus the Clippers. They've played 6 of their last 7 games on the road. They've played 8 of their last 10 games on the road. Now, before that, the Bucks were red hot. They came out of the break, had won 6 straight and covered. They had won and covered 6 straight games coming out of the All-Star break. But like I say, since then, only 1-3. They've obviously been on the road. Probably couldn't wait to get back to the house. Now, first game back at the house, first off of a 4-game road trip, but it was a bad road trip, but it's still not the best of spots, in my opinion. They did smack up Philly here recently, 119-98. Second game coming out of the All-Star break as well. Sixers, the first game versus the Knicks, they played a good one, but they still only scored 79 points back-to-back versus the Knicks. This is 3 straight games that the Sixers hadn't even hit 100 points. And the last one, they had Tyrese Maxey and still only scored 79. So Sixers aren't that bad. They are starting to get used to their new players. They still don't have a ton of size here to fuck with Giannis. My other problem is, though, the Bucks don't really have enough. Like, the Sixers definitely have the advantage when it comes to the guards here, obviously. I mean, when you guys like Kelly Oubre, you got Tyrese Maxey. The Bucks struggle with pace. So if the Sixers are getting the ball and pushing the pace with Maxey, they could possibly struggle in this one. But also the Sixers are going to struggle down low with rebounding. They're going to now. Brook Lopez is look like the Bucks might have to start. They might have to start a different center off the bench. They might have to. You know what I think the recipe to success is? Start Giannis at the center, and they might really have success there. But Brook Lopez can barely get up and down the floor, man. But they have a major advantage with Giannis in this one. Giannis could, I bet you his PRA is like at 50 something, but he should go crazy in this one. Giannis should probably go for a 30-point triple-double in this game, in my opinion. As long as his mind is to it, which I think it is, I think Giannis goes for a 30-point triple-double, especially if they're putting Kelly Oubre on Dame Lillard. He's a really great defender as well, and he could really stifle Dame Lillard, but they don't have a fucking matchup for Giannis in this game. So this game's all on Giannis. If the Bucks are going to cover, that means that Giannis is going for like 30, 35-point triple-double, has like 15 rebounds, goes crazy. So I'd lean towards Giannis props in this one. I know it's high as hell, but I think that he's just like an absolute matchup nightmare. He knows that this team needs to get back on a roll as well. Got a couple of tough games coming up after this as well. First off, they get 2 days off after this game, but they do have the Suns and the Celtics as well. So you want to win this game. You want to get those bad tastes out of that road trip out of your mouth. As long as Giannis didn't come home and have a little too much fun, I think he goes crazy versus the Sixers tonight. They don't have a single matchup for him. Their biggest guys are Paul Reed and Mo Bamba. Giannis is going to feast in this game. I see a 35, 15 rebound, 10 assists, 11 assists game coming from Giannis. Giannis probably turns back the clock and turn back the clock. He's not young, but he probably goes like MVP Giannis in this game, man. That's what I think happens. I don't necessarily want to lay 7.5 with the Bucks, but I think in order for them to cover, Giannis would have to go fucking bonkers here, and I think he does, guys. Let's go over to the streets of OKC in this one. I wonder if SGA's points is still at 30.5, man, because we might have to take that. Now, I know the Mavs do have some defenders over there, but I just think this is a total Thunder game, man. And it's the people that listen to the show. I said yesterday, if the Mavs win, guys, we're taking Thunder on the opener, guys. You can't lie. I did say that. I said we're taking the Thunder tomorrow. Whatever the opening spread is, we're taking it. As long as it's looking like the Mavs are going to win the game. I mentioned that they had lost 146-111 their last game versus the Mavs, and they're coming off of a home loss. And this is their 4th straight home game. And this is a TNT game as well. Thunder don't really get a ton of national TV games. This may be their 4th or 5th national TV game because they did face up against the Lakers like 3 times. They put the Lakers on national TV every fucking time. I don't know why, but this is a Thunder spot, man. Now, this line has gotten high as hell, but now I would pivot towards maybe Thunder team total over or looking at SGA points. Now, the Mavs do have Josh Green and Derrick Jones Jr. that they can put on SGA, but other than that, he's cooking literally everybody else. Derrick Jones Jr. not a bad play, not a bad defender, and Josh Green isn't a bad defender as well. But you would hope that you would have to pick up SGA full court. That's the only time. That's the only way that you're going to stifle him in this game. Derrick Jones Jr. only played 19 minutes last night, and then Luka only played 29 minutes. He left with a hamstring injury. Now with a left hamstring soreness. That doesn't mean that Luka's out, guys. So while the spread did reach like Thunder 11.5, it's coming back down to 10.5. It doesn't mean that Luka's out for this game. Now, it would if he is out, it wouldn't be surprising whatsoever, but that doesn't mean that he's ruled out. He could still possibly play in this game. So if you like the Thunder, you could fuck around and you could wait to see if Luka is actually out. And he could possibly play, and then the line will go back down to maybe like 7.5 Thunder. But I do think the Thunder win this game by double digits, regardless. And this is another SGA MVP type of game, in my opinion, man. I still lean his way on the 30.5. Let's see what he did last game versus the Pacers. He had what you call all over. He went 30 last game. And he had 10 rebounds, but he only went 12 of 27 from the field. You know what I'm saying? And SGA is not really passing the ball right now as well, guys. He's making sure. Like he's getting the most field goal attempts on. Like when you take 27 field goal attempts, like you're not fucking looking towards passing. But he did have Neesmith and Nembhard all over his ass in that last game, and I knew that was going to happen. So I don't know if Derrick Jones Jr. obviously has been through some injuries on this back-to-back. I don't know how much in tune he's going to be into it tonight. I think SGA over his 30.5 points gets there tonight versus the Mavs defense, guys. So I know they got Lively down low, they got Gafford, but if you got SGA that's going to shoot the ball 25 times. I know Jalen Williams is back in there, and that's why I think the Thunder are not going to take these guys lightly regardless. They're coming off a loss. They need a win to try to regain the number 1 seed. I still think the Thunder buddies come out here and smack the Mavs up in this one, but obviously Luka could still play, and his line could come down. But SGA over his 30.5 points, I think is a really good look in this one. And then if you wanted to target the Thunder, I think their team total over. I think they get to running and gunning in this fucking game tonight, my guys. Mavs, back-to-back spot, third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights for the Mavs, and a couple of those games had to do with travel as well. And the Mavs got a big – now they do get 2 days off, a rest after this. If some tells me if his hamstring's not feeling 100%, they probably go ahead and rest him here, but it's not guaranteed. But SGA over 30.5, I think is a really good look. I think they get to running and gunning. He's not looking towards passing. This is a national TV game. SGA will want to go for at least 35 points, even though Jalen Williams is back in this one. SGA over 30.5 is probably the best look here. Let's go over here to the streets of Portland in this one. Blazers getting 10.5 points on the road here. Versus the New York, at the house versus the New York Knicks. Knicks land 10.5 on the road in this one. Knicks can do whatever the hell they want in this game, man. The Blazers, and I said it last night, watch that game versus the Hawks. What are the Blazers? Now, the only thing that's working for the Blazers here is that it's their 6th straight home game. Other than that, I feel like the Knicks can come out here and do whatever the hell they want. So they're saying Jalen Williams is back. They say he's out, Jay. Luka is out. Okay. Yeah, no, I can see this being a favors day, to be honest with you. So they say it's up to 11.5 now. See, some people are smart. Like, I got okay. See, was at -6 yesterday, man. I'm just saying. But he said, SGA only hit 1 of 7 threes from Pacers, but still got 30. SGA is going for fucking 35 tonight, man. I'm telling you that right now. But Blazers coming off of a win. The Blazers have been covering spreads. I'm not gonna lie to you. They've covered 6 of their last 8 games. But this is a spot where I don't want the Blazers coming off a win. They don't want to win back-to-back games. I'll tell you that they do not want to win back-to-back games. Sitting at 19 wins, I believe right now they're sitting at like the 6th worst record. Let me just see real quick. So with 19 wins, so you got the Pistons and so you got Pistons, and then you got Wizards 11 and 12, and then you got San Antonio at 14. And then you got these guys, Hornets at 17, and then they got 19. Yeah, they don't want to win any more games because right above them is the Raptors, and then the Raptors and the Grizzlies. This team's gonna be fighting for the worst record, man. I'm telling you this, my guys. But I'd lean towards the Knicks. I think the Knicks smacked these guys. I think the Knicks smoked their ass, to be honest with you. Like, Knicks should win this game by 20 points. This is one spread that's still at the at the right spread, at the same spread that I would go with. I think the Knicks could do whatever the hell they want here. They can win this game by 20, 30 points if they want to. Hopefully they don't come out BSing and just win by 5 or 6, but I would lay the points with the Knicks in this one. I think they put it on. Like, they got OG Anunoby back. It's time to get back in the groove. It's time to get back ready for the playoffs. And what do the Knicks do? They beat up on these bad teams like this, man. So they faced off against them January 9th at the house. They were laying 13. They smoked them 112-84. They showed no mercy on their ass, man. So what the Knicks will do, they'll kind of get up by 20 and then just kind of coast the game. And even when they're putting their backup players in, they smack as well. I think the Knicks minus the 10, minus the 10.5 is the right side in this game, guys. But it's time to get out of here, my brothers. The spots that I like today, man, the spots I like. So I mean, I'm not betting the Suns, but the spot does set up well for them. It's obviously really hard to go against the Celtics, but first game back after their 5-game road trip and with travel as well from Utah, don't be a bit surprised if they come out flat. Let's just put it that way. So maybe Suns early, but I would lean their way plus 5.5. Nothing with Rockets, Wizards. I'd still lay the 6 with the Clippers in that one, man. With the Bulls, see what's up with Kobe White as well. Obviously, if Kobe White doesn't play, it's going to be a huge hit for the Bulls on offense. James Harden is questionable as well, so can't talk you off waiting for that one. Kawhi is probably going to get ruled out for that one, but the spot still sets up for the Clippers in a bounce back J spot, and the Bulls in a letdown spot and a fatigue spot when it gets to the fourth quarter, coming off a overtime game versus the Indiana Pacers, and third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights. Bucks Sixers, I'd lean towards Giannis over his PRA in that one. I know it's going to be high as hell, but the Sixers don't have a single matchup for the Bucks in their game. I think Giannis could do whatever the hell he wants in that one. The Thunder Mavs spot. I still think the Thunder will try and come out here and smoke the Mavs, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that they would, like, the Thunder aren't the type of team that shows mercy on teams. They have revenge. Like last time they lost by 35 to the Mavs. Now it's their turn to smack their ass up. They lost 146-111. And that's why you watched the show yesterday during that breakdown of the Mavs. I said, look, they win. We're taking the Thunder tomorrow on the opener, guys. So you lost like maybe 5.5 points of value here, but maybe you could go with Thunder team total over, or you could take SGA over his 30.5 points. This is a TNT game. He's going to make sure that he gets fucking 25 shot attempts, and he's going to try to get to 30 points. He's going to be drawing fouls. SGA over his points, I think, is a really good look in this game, guys. And then Knicks, Blazers. Knicks can name their score. They smacked them by 28 points last game. Blazers are coming off a win. They are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games, but I do believe that the Knicks will come in here and step on these guys. I think Knicks minus 10.5 is the right side of Noah, guys. That's the show, man. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. I might be doing a night show. I'm going to look at tomorrow's card and see if I really love something. There are 3 spots that I'm liking tomorrow, man. So I'll be doing a night show for you guys tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, my guys. Either 11 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Y'all check out the show, NBA Talk with Jay. Late night, early NBA picks. You see what I'm saying? It's all love. It's all positive vibes. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the channel as a member, all that good stuff, my guys. So where you get some special shows. You see what I'm saying? It's all love. Hope everybody has a great day. Hope you cash your bets, whatever you're betting. It's all love. We out, my guys. Hit the like button. Let's go.